Hey bears, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla June, Kale Barb on social media. So, happy Therapy Thursday. Today we are doing another mindful journal entry, and today's topic is about depression, anxiousness, and peace. It's actually a very, very short one, so bear with me here. But before we start, if you aren't already, please, pretty please subscribe to my channel and definitely give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. And definitely follow all my social media handles. I am at Kale Barb for beauty and makeup, of course. And then I have my mental health Instagram page, which is at bear_selfcare. And then if you are interested in seeing my freelance content, which is makeup related as well, but it is my business Instagram page, that is at kaylajune.mua, and it will be somewhere on the screen or on both sides. But let's just get started. So for the next entry, we have this little right here. It's a little tiny entry. The little part at the top right there, it says, read the quote below from Lao Tzu. How does it make you feel? Where do you spend most of your time? What would it take for you to live more in the present? And those are the questions. So the quote is, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. So I'm going to read this one more time. I actually really like this quote a lot. It says, if you are depressed, you are living in the past, which makes me giggle. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. Again, a slight giggle. Also, don't mind my anyway. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. So, read the quote, which I did 2 times. And how does it make you feel? Where do you spend most of your time? And what would it take for you to live more in the present? So when I read this quote, as I said, it makes me giggle, because I know how it is to, 1, feel depressed, and to 2, live in the past or relive the past and dwell on the past, and that's just a thing that I do. I also know how it feels to be anxious, obviously, and I also know how it is to live in the future. As for living in the present, I completely understand how it is to feel more at peace on some days, but I definitely do. I used to live anxiously, whereas I would be like, okay, well, what if this doesn't happen? Or, in 5 years, I would set a goal and it'd be like, 5 years, I'm going to accomplish this. And then 5 years passed and my path totally changed directions. And a part of me was depressed and upset because I didn't accomplish those goals, I guess. But I learned that it doesn't define me. For example, when I started nursing school, I planned to graduate on time, which I didn't. I didn't even finish. I ended, I think, 2.5 years in, and I switched to being a professional makeup artist. And I am so thankful and so happy that I followed my gut and my heart and my brain, and I decided to do what I love to do every day. So it doesn't really, do you ever hear that expression, if you love what you do, it stops becoming work, or something like that? I feel like my husband would know more about that quote than anything, but that's how I feel on a daily basis. I'm getting a little bit hot here. But in all seriousness, I actually do feel like, I would say I more so sometimes, not all the time. I mean, I probably used to do it a lot more before, dwell on the past a lot. And it upsets me because it affects so much. It affects my depression, my anxiety, my relationship, my friendships, all the relationships with other people, like my family and stuff like that. And it's not a way to live. Oh my goodness. Like, the fact that it's not even like dwelling in my own mistakes or my past things. It's more so bringing up other people's mistakes. And that was my biggest mistake, because we're not all perfect, and before I didn't realize that. And there are times now where occasionally I'll sit there and I'll dwell on the past, and I'll talk to Vincent about it, but I try not to let it affect me as much as it used to, if that makes sense. So obviously it all takes effort and a lot of work and patience with yourself to really, really want to change, in the sense of just living in the moment and just going with the flow. It's so much easier. Like, my friend Nicole is all about living in the moment and just being present, and I think that's so important. So again, if you are at peace, you're living in the present, and I think that's really, really important. And I know it's very difficult for people with anxiety and depression, because sometimes you get really down on yourself on things that you either haven't done or that you have done that were mistakes and regrets. And I don't like saying that. I don't like the word regret, but you try and learn from it and you just move on. That's how you grow. And it's not bad to set goals and to follow your dreams at all, but try not to set a time on when it should be accomplished, because everyone's timeline and their plans and their paths are so different from one another. Trust me on that. I remember being a little girl, and I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna get married in my early 20s, and I'm gonna have kids in my early 20s, and we're gonna be close in age, and we're gonna have fun, and da-da-da. And then I was just like, I don't really want to get married, but I want to be a mom, and I want a big family. And then, I met Vincent, and I wanted to get married, and I wanted a forever. It's always a challenge, but it's how you take those challenges and you help yourself and help yourself grow and try and actually realize what's in front of you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the next question is, where do you spend most of your time? So for me, I spend most of my time in my beauty room, which is where I am now. This is where I watch Netflix, which is on my monitor. My used-to-be monitor over there. I used to film with my phone. It's where I do my makeup, my body painting. This is where I usually work, like on my iPad, and trying to, answer emails, email people, try and build my business, and talk to clients and stuff like that. So this is like my sanctuary. This is where I find peace, and this is like my safe space. I love this room a lot. I have a lot to do, and I really want to get this room done and like the way I envision it. But this is where I feel the best, if that makes sense. And what would it take for you to live more in the present? So I've already pretty much spoken about that. It all depends on you as a person and your mindset. And I know, again, it's not easy. It took me years on years to actually realize the importance of putting my happiness first and really pinpointing and figuring out what made me unhappy. So that involves toxicity in general, people who were negative and bringing me down, people I thought that, would not be beneficial in our children's lives. That's a big thing for me as of right now. I just want to be surrounded by people who like to empower others, who are leaders, who are supportive. Just like that. Like, I just like positivity now, and it took me a really long time. I think I just really realized this after our wedding, and that was in December. You really truly, and I feel like when there's a huge event in your life or a huge moment in your life, that's when you realize who's there for you and who's not. And I know that's sometimes really sad, but I realized a lot during my wedding and wedding planning and everything. But you just got to stay focused, and maybe one week for Mental Health Monday, I will talk about, trying to be successful with mental illness or anxiety and depression. I think that's something that's really important, because I'm trying to do that right now with myself. I think that will be a video pretty soon. So any of you who are interested in that, stay tuned. But that is pretty much the entry. I know that this is sort of a long venting video, and I don't like when Therapy Thursday videos are too short, because I feel like I'm just reading and answering and that's it, and I really want to try and help and give you advice as much as possible from my own personal experience. But yeah, that is it for this video. The next video will probably be beauty related, so look out for that one, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day or night wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, bears.